Student, let's start with economic syllabus of class 12. I am starting with the first chapter. May not be the first chapter, it is chapter number 8. As you are quite familiar with the term cost, so I am starting with the chapter cost and revenue analysis. Now let's start with what is cost. We have done in the costing. What is cost? Cost means the amount which is incurred or which is spent to produce a particular unit is known as cost. Now the firm has mainly two types of cost. One is money cost, means which is spent in terms of money, which we can measure in terms of money. So it is measurable in money. Another cost which is known as implicit cost, or it is known as non-monetary cost. So the implicit cost means when the factors of production, any factors, suppose the land or the capital or any other mode of factors of production are borne by the entrepreneur and as a result there is no drain out of money from the business is known as implicit cost or non-money cost. Suppose if an entrepreneur invests rupees 1 lakh in order to start up the business, whether he will charge interest on capital on it? Answer is no. So this interest on capital is known as implicit cost which cannot be measured in terms of money. But while calculating the cost of production, we have to take into account both money cost and implicit cost or non-monetary cost. If this implicit cost or non-money cost will be ignored, then what will happen? There will be devaluation or undervaluation of cost of production, and this product, if it will be when it will be launched in the market, it will fail to produce or it will fail to get its fair price in the market, and which leads to loss to the concern. Okay, understood? So implicit cost has to be taken into consideration while calculating the cost of production. So the cost can be divided into two parts. One is the money cost and another one is known as implicit cost or non-money cost. When it happens, when the factors of production are borne by the entrepreneur himself. Okay, over, understood? Next one, we are talking about the normal profit. It is a minimum profit that a firm or the entrepreneur must expect in order to take up all the risk of the business. What is normal profit? Normal profit, it is the minimum profit which an entrepreneur or a firm expect in order to take up the risk of the business. An entrepreneur has to take up all sort of risk of the business, so he needs a minimum return which is known as normal cost. Normal cost means that total cost equal to total revenue. Suppose I have produced a product and my total cost of production per unit is 5, and when I am selling it into the market, if I will get rupees 5, then what will happen? There will be no surplus. This situation is called normal profit. Means TC, total cost, should be equal to total revenue. Means if TC is 5 and TR is also 5, so what is my normal profit? Normal profit is 0. So it is called no profit or no loss condition. Okay, understood? In the short run, now the question is, you can write it down in your copy also, why is normal profit required? In the short run, as the time is short, So what will happen? The demand always outstrip supply. So demand is total market demand is more than supply. Okay, as a result, what will happen? This excess demand try to what? Pull up the price. So there is a tendency the price will increase in the short run, and which helps the entrepreneur to earn supernormal profit. But when we are talking about the long run, then what will happen? There are number of firms will enter into the market. As a result, the size of the firm will increase, and earning potential of each and every firm will fall. So the problem will arise. What problem? To maintain the profit margin. So in the long run, we have to remember each and every firm must earn normal profit in order to run the business. Normal profit concept is very much important in long run. In short run, obviously the firms who are doing the business, they will earn supernormal profit. But in the long run, the profit margin will fall. But firm will stay in the business. The firm may stay in the business if firm can earn normal profit. Okay. Now, while considering the cost of production, we have to keep in mind the three things. One is money cost, one is implicit cost, and third one is the normal profit. Now, if we will sum up these three costs, we can term it as normal cost also. Normal profit or normal cost. If we will combine these three costs, money cost, implicit cost and normal cost, then what we will get? We will get a new term which is known as economic cost. Write down in the copy, economic cost. So, economic cost is the combination of money cost, implicit cost and normal profit. Okay. Next, I am telling another cost that is known as opportunity cost. Opportunity cost, you have this concept because in class 11, I have taught you production possibility frontier. Remember or forgotten? If you have forgotten, I am recapitulating it again. That is, if our country has limited resources, then and country wants to produce only two products, then what country has to do? Country has to sacrifice one product in respect to other. Suppose the total resources available in the nation is 100 units. Okay? With the 100 units, 20 clothes can be made. And 40 shirts can be made. Okay. Now, if I want to produce one more clothes, then I have to sacrifice 1 unit of shirt. Okay, because both cannot be done togetherly. Now see, a plot of land may be suitable for cultivation of jute and paddy. But the cultivator must cultivate paddy because it is a commercial crop, because it will fetch him a better return. So what he has to do? He has to sacrifice the production of paddy. So the cost foregone for not opting the next best alternative, that is the production of paddy, the entrepreneur has to forego. Why? As he is willing to produce jute. So when a producer is producing jute at a cost of paddy, because he cannot produce both togetherly, he has to sacrifice which one? the next best alternative, that is the packing. So the cost foregone for not opting the second best alternative or the next best alternative is known as opportunity cost. If you wish, you can take down the note. Please write down. The opportunity cost means the cost foregone for not opting the next best alternative. Cost foregone for not opting the next best alternative. Example, right? A plot of land can be used for the cultivation of paddy and jute. As jute is the commercial crop, hence the cultivator must produce jute instead of paddy. So, the cost lost for not producing paddy is the opportunity cost of jute. Cost lost for or foregone for not producing paddy is the opportunity cost of jute. So opportunity cost is very, very important in order to take any type of decision. That suppose you are having the 3 job options, 1, 2, 3. Now you will calculate and find one that which one you will take and which one you will forego. Okay. Now this part I think it is clear. Next I am teaching another part that we have already done in class 11, that is on the basis of time the cost can be divided into 2 parts. One is time basis, this is very important type. One is fixed, another one is variable cost. So fixed cost, the fixed cost which remain fixed up to a certain level of production in short run. So fixed cost is available in the short run because in short run some factors of production remain constant. Suppose the size of the firm or the capital. With the firm doesn't have the potential to increase the size of the business, or it is difficult to arrange the firm within a short period of time, or firm may have any other limitation. So all factors of production in the short run cannot be changed. So there are some fixed factors in short run as well as the variable factors. So what is called fixed cost? The cost which remain fixed up to a certain level of production is known as fixed cost. Fixed cost is not, or fixed cost disappear in long run. Coming to the next one, what is the variable cost? The term determines or term says that the cost which varies along with the level of production is known as variable cost. Variable cost remain both in short run as well as the long run. So in long run we only have variable cost. As I have already said, the fixed cost disappear in which run? In the long run. Okay, understood? So now the question is that if a firm wants to stop the production, then the firm has to take the burden of fixed costs. So before shutting down or before stopping the production, the firm has to take the decision very properly or very judiciously whether the firm will stop the production or the firm will continue the production. But keep it in mind, when the firm will stop the production, firm has to take the burden of the fixed cost, and when there is no production, we all know there will be no variable cost. Firm doesn't has to take the liability of the variable cost, but it has to take the liability or the liability of the fixed cost. Firm has to bear the fixed cost if there is no production. Okay.